In the grim darkness of the far future, there is only war. But even among the bloodiest legends of the 41st millennium, one name strikes terror into the hearts of heretics and hope into the souls of the faithful, the Black Templars. Their story isn't just one of war. It's the tale of eternal crusade, fanatical faith, and the unbreakable will of warriors who have never known defeat. So, Lawseeker, ask yourself, what drives a Space Marine chapter to abandon peace and embrace unending war? And what price do they pay for their devotion? Let's find out together. Our story begins at the dawn of the Imperium's darkest hour. The Horus Heresy, a civil war of unimaginable scale, has shattered the Emperor's dreams and left the galaxy burning. The loyal sons of the Emperor barely held the line. The Imperial fists, led by the indomitable Rogel Dawn, defended Terra against the traitor legions. The cost was unimaginable, both in lives and in innocence. But victory came at a price. The Emperor was left entombed upon the Golden Throne, and the Imperium would never be the same. With the heresy quelled, a new era began, the Age of Rebirth. Robout Guilliman's Codex Astartes split the mighty Space Marine legions into smaller, more controllable chapters. Most of Dawn's sons became the Imperial Fists, but some could not let go of the past, nor forgive the wounds of betrayal. It was Sigismund, the greatest champion of the Imperial Fists, who felt the call most keenly. Known as the Emperor's champion, Sigismund had witnessed the horrors of the siege of Terra firsthand. He bore a faith and fury that could not be contained by peace or fortress walls. On the scorched ruins of Terra, Sigismund made a vow before Rogel Dawn: never to rest, never to yield, and never to allow the Emperor's enemies a moment of respite. He would found a chapter that would embody this eternal crusade. Thus, the Black Templars were born, Space Marines who would abandon the safety of homeworlds and monasteries for the ceaseless wars of the stars. Pause a moment, Lawseeker. What do you think it takes to make a warrior abandon safety and peace forever? If you had to choose between a life of endless battle or comfort behind walls, which would you pick? Drop your answer in the comments. Are you a crusader or a guardian? Unlike any other chapter, the Black Templars made the galaxy itself their fortress. They launched their first crusade from the ashes of Terra, swearing never to build a single home or rest while a single foe of mankind drew breath. Imagine it: fleets of black-armored knights, holy banners snapping in the solar wind, plunging from system to system in a never-ending tide of war. For the Black Templars, faith is not a word, it's a weapon. Where other Space Marines honor the Emperor as their gene father, the Black Templars worship him as a living god. Every battle is a holy act, every enemy slain, a prayer made flesh. Sigismund was more than just a master of war. Legends say he could sense heresy and evil in men's hearts. His black sword, gifted by Rogel Dawn, was said to glow with the Emperor's own wrath. He led his crusaders across the stars, seeking out traitors, Xenos, and witches wherever they hid. But what truly set Sigismund apart was his unyielding devotion. He forged the Black Templars into a brotherhood unlike any other, one where oaths were not just sworn, but carved into flesh and soul. I swear by the blood of Sanguinius, by the honor of Dawn, and by the Emperor's own light, never to rest, never to falter, and never to let the foes of man draw breath so long as I stand. Do you know another warhammer character as stubborn or as legendary as Sigismund? Let us know your favorite relentless hero in the comments below. From their inception, The Black Templars have never known rest. When one crusade ends, another begins. There is no end, only purpose. Their fleets, called crusade fleets, are both home and weapon, cathedrals of war, where prayers echo in steel hallways and purity seals flutter on every surface. Picture a crusade fleet hurtling through the darkness of space, cathedral ships bristling with cannons, thunderhawks screaming from launch bays, and at their heart, an unbreakable brotherhood. The Black Templars are not just warriors, they are knights, and their order is forged in faith, fire, and a code that makes them the most zealous force in the Imperium. How does a chapter with no homeworld and no limits keep the faith alive across the stars? And what does it take to become a Templar among the galaxy's most fanatical crusaders? Let's answer those questions and see if you'd survive among the Black Templars. The Black Templars are unique, iconoclasts who broke the mold set by the Codex Astartes. Unlike almost every other Space Marine chapter, they have no fixed homeworld, no fortress monastery rooted in ancient stone. Instead, their fleets are their home, vast, armored cathedrals, drifting from war zone to war zone, never lingering, never knowing rest. Their flagship, the Eternal Crusader, is legendary, a star fortress, a shrine, a mobile armory, and a home to tens of thousands of crusaders. If you could choose your home in the 41st millennium, would you want a mighty fortress, or would you join the endless crusade among the stars? Tell us where you'd rather live, stone walls or starships. Drop your answer below. The Codex Astartes, written by Robert Gilliman, says no chapter may have more than 1,000 Space Marines. But the Black Templars, they scoff at such limits. No one, not even the Inquisition, knows their true numbers. But whispers say there are at least 7,000 Black Templars at any time, perhaps far more. Each crusade fleet can contain hundreds, sometimes over 1,000 battle brothers, all acting under the direct will of their High Marshal, leadership and the chain of command. At the top sits the High Marshal, the supreme leader and spiritual guide. Each crusade fleet is led by a marshal or castellan, all answerable only to the High Marshal himself. Their command is absolute. Each marshal has full authority to recruit, train, and lead as he sees fit. Ranks within the Black Templars. High Marshal, supreme leader, chosen for his piety and skill in battle. Marshal, crusade leader, often a veteran of dozens of campaigns. Castellan, senior officer, trusted with the defense of critical crusade assets. Sword brothers, elite veterans, mentors to the next generation. Initiates, fully fledged battle brothers, tested by fire. Neophytes, aspirants, young and eager, sworn to their sword brother for mentorship. What makes the Black Templars truly unique is their system of mentorship. Every neophyte is paired with a sword brother, a battle-tested veteran who teaches not just the art of war, but the sacred rites and rituals of the order. A day in the life of a neophyte. Dawn begins with prayers to the Emperor, often in the armorium or beside a relic. Then hours of brutal physical training, chainsword drills, bolt pistol marksmanship, and, above all, study of holy texts. Mistakes are punished not just with extra drills, but with penance, fasts, vigils, sometimes the carving of oaths into their own flesh. Only by fire are we tempered. Only through faith are we worthy. Remember this, little brother. Your flesh is dust. Your soul is the Emperor's. Which Warhammer chapter's training would you survive? Black Templars, Space Wolves, or Blood Angels? Or would you run for the nearest shuttle? Let us know in the comments. The Black Templars live by oaths. Every weapon, every suit of armor, every banner, covered in purity seals and handwritten prayers. Before every battle, Templars gather to recite the litany of hate, a chant so powerful it's said to drive out doubt and stoke the fires of holy rage. Before a crusade begins, each brother carves an oath of moment, a personal vow, into his armor or even his own flesh. Fulfillment means death or disgrace. They have no librarians. No psychers are tolerated in their ranks. To the Black Templars, all psychic power is sorcery, and all witches are to be destroyed. Instead, their chaplains and marshals lead through pure faith and raw fury. Every crusade is a campaign unto itself. Some last months, some centuries. When one ends, another begins. There is never rest, no peace, only war. A Black Templar's life is one of ceaseless battle, but also deep camaraderie. Neophytes become brothers. Sword brothers become legends. Stories are told not just of victories, but of sacrifices, of Templars who fought to the last, holding the line so others could press the attack, of heroes who never allowed hope to die. Do you have a favorite Black Templar legend or battle? Have you ever fought alongside them on the tabletop? Share your story or favorite miniature in the comments. Let's see who's the most fanatical crusader among us. From their shadowed cathedrals, drifting between the stars, to the brutal trials of their neophytes, the Black Templars stand apart. A brotherhood bound by faith, forged in war, and sworn to the Emperor forever. But who are the heroes who lead these endless crusades? Which battles have carved their name into legend? Stay with us, lore seeker. In our next chapter, we'll follow the Black Templars into their greatest wars, the crusades that shook the stars. In the history of the Black Templars, every page is written in blood and fire. They are crusaders without end, warriors whose names echo across the stars, and whose banners have become omens of doom for the enemies of mankind. But what makes a legend? Is it the hero, the sacrifice, or the cause? Tonight, we relive the greatest crusades and meet the champions whose deeds became immortal. Which battle would you have joined? Which hero's name would you carry into war? To understand the Black Templars, you must grasp the scope of their wars. Unlike other chapters, they do not keep a single history. Each crusade fleet records its own annals, its own songs of triumph and mourning. But some tales have spread across the Imperium, whispered by allies and feared by foes. The Vinculus Crusade is legendary, not only for its scale, but for the purity of its cause. The Black Templars clashed with the traitorous word-bearers and the sorcerous Thousand Sons, facing corruption and witchcraft at every turn. For over 2 centuries, they fought across 6 sectors, cleansing world after world, never faltering, even as their numbers dwindled. At Vinculus Prime, High Marshal Ludoldus himself faced the Daemon Prince Urtal, defeating the abomination with the Emperor's name on his lips and his sword driven deep into the creature's heart. Have you ever read about or played a campaign where the odds seemed hopeless, where only faith and fury could win the day? Share your own Vinculus moment in the comments. Let's see who's fought to the last breath. Of all the wars the Black Templars have waged, none are so well known or so costly as the Third War for Armageddon. The Orc warlord Gazg-Kul Thraka descended on the hive world of Armageddon, unleashing a green tide like nothing seen before. The Imperium's defenders were pushed to the brink, outnumbered and outgunned. Enter the Black Templars, led by High Marshal Helbrecht himself. Imagine the skies filled with thunderhawks, banners streaming as black-armored warriors charged into the heart of battle. The Templars fought not just for victory, but for honor, swearing oaths to hold the line against the Orc horde, whatever the cost. No tale from Armageddon is more stirring than the defense of Hell's Reach Hive. Chaplain Grimaldus and his Templars were tasked with holding the city's walls. The siege was relentless. Orc engines battered the defenses. Toxic smoke filled the air, and every hour brought new horrors. Grimaldus, known as the hero of Hell's Reach, stood unyielding. When the walls fell, he led a last stand in the cathedral, holding the sacred relics as the Orcs flooded in. His faith, unbroken even as the city burned, inspired not only his brothers, but the citizens themselves. We are the sons of dawn. We do not yield. We do not break. We fight and we die, but we never, ever surrender. Who is your favorite Black Templar hero? Helbrecht, Grimaldus, or another? And what makes a hero in your eyes? Unyielding faith, unmatched skill, or a willingness to sacrifice everything? Comment below. The Black Templars have also made their name in the void. Boarding actions, ship-to-ship battles, and purges of the heretic among the stars. During the Gothic War, the Templars became terror incarnate for the traitor fleets of chaos. Their ships would appear like wraiths, engines cold, boarding torpedoes fired in silence. Once aboard, the Templars gave no quarter, purging heretic, demon, and mutant alike with bolter and blade. Their ferocity was matched only by their faith. It's said that even the Night Lords, masters of terror, learned to fear the Black Templars' hymn, echoing down the blood-slicked corridors. One of the most grueling crusades in the chapter's history, the Zealous Crusade, pitted the Templars against the Eldar and the twisted servants of chaos in a multi-front war. For 2 decades the crusade raged. The Templars held the line even as worlds burned, outmaneuvered by Zeno's trickery and assaulted by demonic legions. In the final days, at the battle for the Jerulus Gate, sword brother Cassian is said to have led a doomed counterattack, breaking the back of the heretic army and allowing the fleet to escape. His last message, by oath and by blade we hold. For the Emperor. Do you prefer stories of victory against the odds or tragic last stands? Tell us your favorite Warhammer last stand in the comments. The Black Templars have not faded with time. Their crusades continue into the era Indomitus, the present day of Warhammer 40,000. High Marshal Helbrecht leads the chapter into new wars, now strengthened by the arrival of the Primaris Space Marines. Old traditions endure, even as new warriors swell the ranks. The Templars' hatred of the unclean, psychers, Xenos, and the impure remains undiminished. Their banners still bear the names of fallen heroes, and their vows echo louder than ever across the galaxy. If you could join any Black Templar crusade, ancient or new, which would you choose? Would you stand at Armageddon, board chaos ships in the Gothic War, or defend a doomed world like Hell's Reach? Let us know below. And don't forget to share your own Warhammer battle stories. You know their war cry. No pity, no remorse, no fear. But behind the thunder of bolters and the blaze of chainswords, what truly makes a Black Templar? To understand their crusade, you must step inside their world, into the rituals, the oaths, and the unbreakable faith that forges these knights into living legends. What would your life look like if every breath, every heartbeat, every step was a prayer and a promise to the Emperor himself? Every Black Templar lives by a code, a creed that is more sacred than life itself. It is a chapter defined by oaths, by ritual, and by a zeal that borders on fanaticism. Oaths above all. Before each crusade, every Templar carves his own oath of moment, a vow etched into ceramite or even flesh. These are not empty promises. Each oath is a binding contract with the Emperor. To cleanse the Xenos, to purge the witch, to suffer not the heretic to live. Weapons and armor are adorned with purity seals, parchments inscribed with prayers, and wax shut by chaplains, promising unwavering devotion. Every brother carries scars, some visible, some hidden, each one a testament to a vow kept, a duty fulfilled, or a failure atoned for. In his name I strike, by his will I endure, for his glory I do not yield. If you could take a single oath of moment before battle, what would your vow be? Share your oath in the comments below. Let's see whose devotion burns brightest. Daily devotion. Each day aboard a crusade fleet begins and ends with prayer. Black Templars gather in the armory, their voices echoing off steel and stone. Chaplains lead the litany of hate, a ritual chant said to fill each Templar with the Emperor's wrath, driving out all fear and doubt. Before battle, brothers assemble to renew their vows, sometimes kneeling for hours in silent reflection or reciting sacred scripture as armor is buckled and blades are anointed with holy oils. Ceremonies of brotherhood. Neophytes are knighted only after great trials. A sword brother binds a new warrior with a strip of cloth, taken from the banner of a fallen hero. The neophyte must then prove his worth, often in battle, sometimes in tasks of penance or endurance. Victory feasts are rare, but remembered forever. After a hard-won crusade, Templars gather to tell tales, honor the fallen, and recite new oaths, reminders that their war will never truly end. The Black Templars' armor is not just for war. It is a tapestry of faith. Helmets and pauldrons are often adorned with the Black Cross, the sigil of Sigismund and Dawn. Many bear rosaries, relic bones, or lockets of sacred earth taken from terror itself. The most treasured relics, like the sword of the High Marshals or the holy orb of Antioch, are carried into battle, believed to channel the Emperor's own power. To even touch one is a sign of supreme honor. Nowhere is their faith more absolute than in their hatred of sorcery and psychic powers. Unlike almost every other chapter, the Black Templars refuse to keep librarians. To them, even sanctioned psychers are dangerous, witches to be watched, if not destroyed. Witch hunts. Special squads called Emperor's Champion Retinues may be tasked with hunting down rogue psychers, mutants, and heretics. In the heat of battle, Templars are known to break ranks to pursue a witch, even if it means risking the entire crusade. Their chaplains teach that only steel, faith, and the Emperor's will can protect humanity, not the tainted powers of the warp. Do you think the Black Templars are right to reject all psychic powers? Or do you think there's a place for sanctioned psychers in the Imperium? Let's debate in the comments. Faith versus pragmatism. Life among the Black Templars is not just war, it is unbreakable brotherhood. Neophytes live and fight alongside their mentors. Bonds formed in the crucible of battle last a lifetime, but their standards are merciless. Those who fail, who break their oaths or falter in faith, may be cast out or sent on suicidal penitent missions to atone. Yet in the eyes of a Templar, there is no greater fate than to die with oath fulfilled, chains ward in hand, and the Emperor's name on their lips. This culture of ritual, devotion, and sacrifice is what keeps the Black Templars united. no matter how far from terror, no matter how dark the hour. Every brother is a candle in the void, burning bright against the coming night. If you lived among the Black Templars, what ritual or tradition would mean the most to you? Would you rather be a chaplain leading prayers, a sword brother mentoring the next generation, or a neophyte fighting to earn his place? Let us know in the comments. Your path may inspire a future legend. The galaxy is torn asunder. The great rift scars the heavens, and horrors from beyond spill forth. Worlds burn in the light of the Astronomicon, and everywhere hope flickers like a dying flame. But in the darkness, one order rises higher, their banners undimmed by the long night. The Black Templars have never wavered, and in the era Indomitus, their crusade is more vital and more ferocious than ever before. Would you answer the call of the eternal crusade? Could you stand beside legends as the Imperium's fate hangs in the balance? The Imperium is no longer whole. The cicatrix maledictum, a tear in reality itself, has split the galaxy in two. Demons rampage unchecked, the dead walk among the living, and the Emperor's light grows faint in many sectors. To countless citizens, all hope seems lost. But for the Black Templars, this is the moment their entire existence has prepared them for. Where others see disaster, they see only the next battle, the next test of faith. The eternal crusade, once a vow, is now a necessity for survival. At the helm of the Black Templars stands High Marshal Helbrecht, a living legend whose scars tell the story of 1,000 wars. Helbrecht has survived the orc hordes of Armageddon, clashed blades with chaos warlords, and stood in the shadow of Guilliman himself. Unlike so many leaders of the Imperium, Helbrecht does not hide behind walls or command from afar. He is always at the front, chainsword roaring, inspiring his warriors by deed as much as by word. Helbrecht's leadership has been instrumental in integrating the Primaris Space Marines into the chapter, proving that even tradition-bound zealots can adapt when the fires of the galaxy demand it. Steel, faith, and wrath, these are our gifts to the Emperor. Let none stand in our way. What makes a great leader? Unyielding tradition, adaptability, or the courage to lead from the front? Share your thoughts below. Would you follow Helbrecht into the jaws of hell? With the dawn of the era Indomitus, Robot Guilliman unleashed a new breed of space marine, the Primaris. For many chapters, their arrival was met with uncertainty or outright suspicion. But for the Black Templars, necessity won out over tradition. The galaxy demanded new warriors, and the Black Templars accepted the challenge. Now, Primaris intercessors and Blade Guard fight alongside veteran Templars, swelling the ranks and bringing fresh fury to the crusade. But the chapter's ancient customs endure. Neophytes still train under sword brothers, oaths are still carved, and no psyker walks among them. Are you excited about the new era of Warhammer, Primaris Marines, the Indomitus Crusade, and the shifting fate of the Imperium? Or do you prefer the legends of the old guard? Drop your take in the comments. Nostalgia or new blood? Across the galaxy, new crusades ignite. The Black Templars are often the first to answer distress calls from isolated worlds, the first to strike into warp-choked regions, and the last to abandon the field. In the devastation of Baal, Templars reinforced their brothers of the Blood Angels, holding the line against impossible odds. On the edges of the rift, they lead spearhead assaults, purging demon worlds and reclaiming lost relics. Wherever the Emperor's light dims, a Templar crusade fleet can be seen on the horizon, banners snapping, hymns echoing, and the oath of no pity, no remorse, No fear, ringing louder than the guns of the enemy. With each generation, the Black Templars forge new heroes. Helbrecht remains at the forefront, but the tales of Chaplain Grimaldus, Emperor's champions, and countless sword brothers continue to inspire new crusaders. Their faith has never faltered. Their crusade has never ended. And as the galaxy falls into ever deeper darkness, the Black Templars shine brighter, as the Emperor's sword against the night. If you could write the next chapter in the Black Templars saga, what crusade would you send them on? Is there a foe they have not yet faced, a world that calls for their fury, or a legend yet to be written? Share your ideas, and maybe your vision will inspire a fellow lore seeker. As long as the enemies of man endure, so too will the Black Templars' crusade. There is no end, only purpose. Every battle, every oath, every sacrifice is a prayer to the Emperor and a promise to humanity. So when you see the black cross upon a white shield, when you hear the hymn of battle echoing through the void, know that you are witnessing a legend in the making. The Black Templars march ever onward, their faith a beacon, their fury unchained. The galaxy may burn, but their oath endures. Don't forget to subscribe and join the Grimdark. New legends await you every week. Welcome, Lore Seeker, to your new home for Warhammer stories.